Us this morning, Managing Director at Bajaj Consumer Care. And let's get into a conversation with him on those earnings as well. Mr. Nandi, good morning. A good quarter. Tell us some of the new trends that you've seen this quarter, where you've seen the recovery coming in.
Well, as you rightly said, quarter three has been a good quarter for us. I think not only as pure quantitative numbers, but also overall as the business in terms of where we wanted to grow. So that overall 18% growth that you see is clearly being fueled still by rural, which continues to do well for the second quarter in the run, and maybe going forward, maybe for the next two quarters, etc. I mean, we expect rural to continue to boost us, which grew by 37%. Urban was a little lower at 7%, but we see now urban coming back. And going forward, we see demand to remain robust, both in rural, after we see what the government's budget is, and as well as urban, because we expect base correction to happen after the COVID levels. So that way, both urban and rural is expected to keep doing well in the hair oils space.
Okay, how is rural growth also outperforming urban growth, and are you continuing to see demand or traction for lower value products?
So there are two trends that we see are emerging. As you rightly said, one is in terms of lower value packs. We see people migrating towards a more value for economy buying. So on one side, we see economy range of products which are doing a little better in the hair oils industry, as well as people moving for value for money products, packs, which typically are the larger packs in terms of per ml savings. They save more when they buy the larger packs. So larger packs are doing well, value for money products are doing well. Also, we see that in the premium products, the lower price points are also doing well. So as a company, what we have done is not only have we scaled up our Amla range of products, which is in the economy range, so to say, compared to our almond drops, which is more in the premium range, we have also launched one on the higher side, the modern trade, the largest pack that is possible from our side, which is the 650 ml, which is the largest pack at this stage, as well as on the lower side, the price points of 5 rupee and 20 rupee. We have to launch two more SKUs, which are in the last quarter, which we expect to do well because of exactly what you said.
Mr. Nandi, your hair oil category as well has seen very robust growth. How sustainable do you think this is going forward?
I think that's a good question. But what we see is after the budget, where we expect rural demand also to remain robust. And as I said, with urban last year, the correction that is required this year, we see at least coming for the entire year, next year, at least for the next 3-4 quarters, we expect demand to remain robust both on the rural side as well as the urban side as the economy picks up.
Okay, and given that raw material prices as well have turned inflationary, what will be the impact on your margins, and are your margin levels sustainable?
Well, there will always be hair oils category is itself a pretty competitive industry. So you will also be looking at the competitive landscape to see how price increases are getting affected. Already we have taken a 1.5% price increase in this quarter in our flagship brand, Almond Drops Hair Oil. And we'll continue to monitor both the liquid light paraffin, which is one of our key ingredients, as well as our mustard oil, which is basically refined mustard oil, which is the other key raw material. Both are now in the inflationary trend, as you rightly said. LLP, which is growing in terms of inflation, only in the last quarter we have seen that inflation. Also this quarter we see inflationary trends continuing because of the demand of crude and supply constraints of crude. That we feel will continue for some time. But if you look at the refined mustard oil, because of the mustard crop being bumper, while mustard itself prices may not go up, but overall if you look at edible oils, global edible oils, palm and soya, both are demand-wise, supply-wise, there is a constraint. So we expect some pressure to remain as far as refined mustard oil is concerned. So overall, the inflationary trend may continue for some time, but I think it will be transient. We will keep monitoring. We have taken one price increase. If so be it, if there is huge pressure on our gross margins, then we will also continue to look at this and take corrective actions accordingly. But we expect on the other side, as you rightly said, the demand being robust, sales to continue, and some of those economies of scale in the other cost line items will accrue to us. So overall, as far as EBITDA is concerned, we should be good.
All right. Are you looking at any more price hikes in Q4? If yes, to what extent do you feel you can really do that without hurting demand?
So as I said, we have just taken a 1.5% price increase, and we are seeing the effects of it going into the marketplace. We'll keep monitoring both the market demand in terms of consumer demand. As such, 1.5% does not make a whole, it does not change the consumer buying dynamics as such. So, but that is something that is already going to the marketplace. We will not be very keen to continue to take price increases and go away from the market. So we'll continue to look at demand. We'll continue to monitor closely the demand, as well as look at cost efficiencies to try and see how we can keep our EBITDA within range. But in case the inflation were to be really out of control, then we may have to look at price increases. But may not be, at this moment, it does not look as if in Q4 we will be taking further price increases.
Okay. And has the demand for sanitizers started to cool off? We've been trying to get a sense of that. Some of your peers are not looking to make any further investments in that space.
Absolutely. I think the stance remains exactly similar to all the other players as well. Fortunately for us, we were not stranded with too much of inventory of sanitizers. So at this moment, we are pretty comfortable with the stocks that we have of sanitizers, and we expect that to get liquidated by this quarter, at best by next quarter. As far as manufacturing is concerned, we have stopped manufacturing since last quarter itself. So nothing was manufactured last quarter. So that is where we will not be focusing further. In quarter one, where other products were not selling, we did good business of sanitizers, but that has clearly tapered off, and we will not continue.
And what are the kind of product launches that are lined up? Are you observing any new trends in terms of consumer demand preferences? So in light of this, have you tweaked your new product offering?
So one of the products that I talked about was basically we have just restaged our Amla hair oils as we saw that economy products are now picking up in terms of consumer preferences. So we also dialed up our Amla, which was already a product which was there, but we are dialing it up so that we become a little more present. It's showing good traction. This is somewhere we'll continue to invest on. We also launched a product called Zero Gray, which is basically a product which stops graying of your hair, or rather delays graying of your hair. So this is a product which has been launched through e-commerce first and then through modern trade. There we are seeing good traction. This is something where we continue to invest on. And in the next 2 quarters, we might also launch a few products in the digital platform, first through the digital platform, and see how they are. So there's something coming up by, let's say, end of H1 of the next year.
Thanks much for taking time out and joining in, giving us a view as to how things have shaped up for the company and where you're seeing growth as well as the overall demand outlook.